Hello, this is my post commentary on my week 1 ADDL game against Bryann and Blitz. I I was going to do a live com, but I ended up muting my mic during the recording, so that it's not really going to work. It's just me playing the game while muted. So instead, doing this post com because I said I'd make a video, and I intend to follow through on that. So yeah, since it's a post-com, I'm just going to do a quick run over the matchup and my prep, seeing as we're not diving straight into the battle. I'm not on the I'm not on the clock to make my moves. So maybe this will help give you guys a little more insight on how you could approach your own matches, and also give you insight as to why I did some of the things I did. If I'm being honest, in hindsight, I definitely panicked, and I definitely could not tell you why I did some of the things I did in the battle. And my prep was also a little scuffed this week because I had an assessment yesterday. So I was kind of focusing on that for most of the week. So basically, I'm just coping because I'm not happy with the way in which I prepped and played this game. So, but yeah, as for the matchup itself, you can see this is my team on the left and their team on the right. I think that should be right. I'm not sure if your guys' perspective is flipped, but yeah, I'm the guy with Torn, they're the guy with Lando. In terms of like what I was thinking going into this prep, because I'm like, whenever I get lazy and I'm trying to build a team quickly, I naturally take a more defensive stance. So I was looking at how can I try to contain some of the Pokemon that he has. So I was looking at his team, and my first thought is, okay, I'm gonna need a Fizdef Slowbro for the likes of Lando, Urshifu, and an initial Charizard pivot. But then I was also thinking, okay, if Slowbro ever dies, all three of these Pokemon are going to begin to really cause some problems for my team defensively. So I'm going to have to find a way in which I can pivot in, check them, but not trade my Slowbro. So to do that, well, first of all, it's kind of difficult with the Yoshifu. I was thinking I probably just have to make an aggressive pivot out because I don't expect band. I expect protective pads if it comes. With something like Whirlpool, T-Punch, Taunt, maybe. But I can scout that with Taunt. So that's kind of my thinking. If I see the Urshifu, I just need to make sure I can confirm it's set before committing to risking Bro against it because, well, things could get problematic very quickly if I did go Bro immediately and I lost it to a trapping Urshifu set. Um, so yeah, there's that. As for Charizard, the way in which it really fucks with Bro is that if they ran an SD Outrage variant, it's a roll to just outright kill me, and I'm pretty sure. I can just check this on the calc right now. Can take the build, put it in the calc. Uh, Mega Charizard X, Outrage, +2. This is Jolly. Yeah, it's already got a 20% chance to kill. I'm Helmet, not Boots. And yeah, if they're Adamant, 75% chance to kill from full. So that's really, really bad, and they're just not. It's not a risk that I'm willing to take. So to solve that issue, my first thought was, okay, I want a Clefable that can come in on Charizard if he clicks S. So if I go Bro and he clicks SD, I want to be able to go Clefable on a T-Punch and then live the following Flare Blitz and then do something with Clefable. I think I landed on counter, but I was a couple of different things on that for a while. I don't want to go through all of them, but yeah, you kind of get the idea, right? So that way I'm at least trading Clefable instead of Slowbro, which is better for me. And yeah, which leads me to, okay, I have an unaware Clefable. Well, I don't want it to be there for one purpose and one purpose only. I kind of want it to be a little more flexible. So I was thinking, how can I do so? Well, first of all, Moonblast Spam is just innately valuable against this team. Also, Fizdef is also innately valuable. Nice for Lando and Urshifu as well. But Unaware is also actually going to help my Clefable take on Spectre and Blastoise. Blastoise in particular could have been very scary if they took a Shell Smash variant, and I did not have Unaware Clef because Zaru can never commit to trading with it since that would just open up his Spectria. So yeah, Unaware Clef, very logical for that. And then in addition to that, in terms of like moves, I was thinking, okay, since I'm taking a defensive standpoint, I'm kind of scared if they just take like a couple random like fatty Pokemon that are really hard for me to break, it could cause me a lot of problems quite quickly. Because if his Pokemon are afforded like enough time, they're inevitably just gonna force their way through whatever I take. So I'm specifically eyeing up that Clefairy, thinking, man, that Clefairy could be really problematic if I play stupid. And I was just like, I don't want to worry about it, so I'm just going to take Knock on my Clefable, which is also a nice punish for other switch-ins. Like, I can punish Lando and Kartana. Taking the items is extremely valuable. And in general, I did not want to take Knock on my Taunt because it would risk Stunfisk Para. So I wanted to have a Knocker to help force progress. So naturally, it lands on Clefable, which had the... I was between like a couple things on that as well. Yeah, I kind of don't want to say in case we rematch. No, fuck it. There are like different setup variants like Cosmic Power and Ice Beam. I mean, you guys aren't stupid, right? I'm sure they are aware of all the different ideas with Clefable. But yeah, so Slowbro, Clefable. Now, in terms of like checking some of the other Pokemon, Fizdef Torn is definitely a great Kartana check, and it's kind of like my only great Kartana check at all because Rotom exists, but it's not very good here. Like Electric's not free because it's a Lando. Wisp is not a great middle ground because there's a Charizard. Overheat is still not good because there's a Charizard. Foul Play, Volt Switch is a set that covers both of them, but there's a Stunfisk. So Rotom's kind of bad here. So I elected not to take it because I was just like, okay, it sounds like too much work. I could probably make it. Like, I could probably force it if I planned around it like intelligently and maybe got some better sets around it. I don't know. It's probably a way to make Rotom work, but I didn't really look at it that long before I just decided, okay, I can't be bothered. I'm just gonna bench it. So that leaves me with these three, and then I was like, okay, there's a Spectria, and then I was thinking, okay, I'll just take Ordino, but I was looking at Ordino, and I was just like, it's really passive, and against all these physical attackers, I couldn't see myself like getting any advantageous position, like getting advantageous positioning against this team if I was constantly forced into Ordino. So for that reason, I was just like, okay, well, why take Ordino when I literally have a Zarude? Zarude helps me with that offensive problem because it just naturally pressures his team. And you might not know this, but Zarude actually has better natural bulk than Ordino, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it does. I'm not going to check that, but yeah. So I just run Spit F Zarude, and it helps with Spectria. And yeah, naturally, it's not that easy for him to switch into. So that's my defensive call. And then on top of that, I decided to run a Venomoth because I was like, okay, I'm even still. I benched Yordino, which was like really bad because it made my team extremely passive, but I was still quite passive and it was still going to be difficult to get the upper hand. So I was thinking about ways in which I could force progress while behind, or like while not behind per se, but on the back foot. So I was thinking, okay, what if I just ran T-Spikes? He's not going to take the Goldfish. Right, well, sorry, they are not going to take the Goldfish. I just refuse to believe that. It's a crazy bring. So I was like, okay, T-Spikes are relatively free. It's going to help Torn punish Fisk. It's going to help shut down that Charizard. It's going to help shut down that Urshifu, Spectria, and Blastoise. It's just going to make everything easier. So I was like, cool. And the Venomoth upside is that it's a kind of like it's well, funnily enough, similar to Zarude, it's actually quite difficult for them to switch into, but also it's sort of like a natural Katana check, except Smart Strike will just nuke it. So there's that. And if they knock the boots, then it's like, okay, now I can't switch in on Smart Strikes. And also, if it's banded Katana, then you just get to a KO. So a couple problems there, but it's like pretending to be a Katana check. I kind of felt safer running Venomoth than Rotom Heat just because I felt like Venomoth added more to everything else, and I was just thinking, okay, between Torn and Zarude, I should be able to like Torn Zarude and like some aggressive bro plays. I should have the tools to shut down Kartana. It'll be tight, but I just need to play well. And then outside of that, I was like, okay, I need my one mon offensive core, which is Garchomp. Garchomp's a menace, destroys teams. So I was like, okay, yeah, just rocks on Chomp as well because I still needed them. And I didn't like the idea of running rocks unaware Clef because that means I'm going to be bringing Clef out before it, like, before it needs to come out, and I'm giving him opportunities to weaken a key piece of my defensive core. So wasn't a fan of that, especially with the unaware Mon instead of Magic Guard. Status hurts. But yeah. So this is the final build. How long has this been going for? Can I even check? I don't want this to go on for too long. 10 minutes. Fuck, man. I'm so slow. My bad, guys. Okay, I'll try not to drag this on. Let's get into the battle already. But yeah, like I said, Fog in case he brought Crawfish because I was having some delusions that they would take it because I was reliant on T-Spike. So I was looking at worst case scenarios. So I was like, okay, well, just in case if they try to stack my team, I'll have Defog on hand. It's also nice because my Taun's going to get knocked by Katana, so there are scenarios where, okay, a late game defog could really save me. Uh, mm, um, Bryann? Sorry, I just switched off for a sec. Slow-mo, pretty typical. I mean, what are you going to expect? Foul play is there to punish set up Charizard. If they're boosting their attack, I'm actually able to punish them with foul play. In case they're on a fat set and try to abuse me with substitute or just try to roost on my face. I wasn't a fan of that, so I just run foul play and deals with that. Also helps punish other switches. It's a good move. I was considering counter, but substitute was just completely shat all over counter, and it's also like, okay, if you want to try to abuse your bro with your bulk, then why not just run sub? Because if you're not sub, you're getting toxic status. So yeah. Yeah, this Garchomp is just coverage. I was looking at his team, I was like, okay, Jab will force through basically the only check, and even though Aqua Tail's not great initially, the Lando's going to be taking shit from things like Helmet and Rocks, ideally. Uh, yeah, Fist F Clef. Charizard's strong, man. That's all I have to say of that. Zarude's good, and yeah, Fist F Moth. Didn't really need special attack. The Fist F helped me avoid that Smart Strike to a KO. Okay, that's basically the gist of everything. Oh yeah, and foul play air slash. I wanted air slash because I was like, okay, if I miss against Urshifu, I'm in a terrible spot. But then I was like, okay, now I'm lacking damage to revenge Lando because Torn's my revenger. So I was like, okay, I'll run foul play. Foul play is going to let me revenge Charizard and Lando, and that's very reliable. Hate Hurricane, don't like relying on it, and yeah, since Torn's not that, like, that Hurricane just wasn't good here, man. I needed that reliability. I didn't have the flexibility to run Hurricane. My only concern with foul play is, okay, what if they go Stunfisk? But I was just thinking, yeah, it's like they won't expect me to have foul play, so when I finally need to click it, it will actually like surprise them. So I'm not going to risk the static. At least that was my thinking. But yeah, so just a quick run over. They bench Blastoise, so T-Spikes are very good here. Also no Quillfish. Yeah, what else did they bench that was significant? No Clefairy, so I wasn't worried about some random endgame where I can't kill it. Mm-hmm. And no Mesprit, which for a little bit I was like, okay, Mesprit can make me force some progress and take my items and generally just be annoying, soften my team up for them, for his other breakers, but no, he decides to bench it, which is completely fair. I think this is the best team they could have taken, so good on them. But yeah, let's get into this. I think I lead Slowbro because it covers both grounds and Urshifu, which I thought was very logical on their part. Yep. And here I'm just looking at their team and I realize, okay, this is a free as fuck Scold. I could teleport, but I'm like, I don't know what your Lando set is, so I want to Scold to see. They U-turn, which revealed to be offensive. The Spectra revealed to be completely offensive as well, so neither had much bulk. Ah, shit. Sorry about that. I just go Zarude because it's my answer, and I try to click Jungle Healing, but they taunt me, which is an aggressive play. Good for them, I guess. I just clicked Darkest Lariat. I'm not sure what their Spectre was just yet, so I didn't want to aggressively double out before I knew how exactly they were going to play that Spectre. I needed to know. Because if I double out and they just stay in, then I'm in a really bad position. So this is fine. That information just confirms to me that they are offensive. They don't have that much bulk. They have some, but it kind of suggests that they're like creep. It kind of suggests that Actually, it kind of screams Scarf, to be honest, the bulk, because what it looks like is that they were running a decent chunk of speed to outrun Torn, and then like 100 or so HP, which yeah, it screams Scarf, but I wasn't confident yet in that prediction, but it was kind of in the back of my mind. Uh, it could have just been like a bulky attacking set, which is completely possible, but it's just weird to me that they ran speed on a bulky attacking set because it just doesn't need speed if that's the type of set that they're aiming for. So yeah. Anyways, so they U-turn, but I'm forcing progress even while on the back foot. They go Charizard and SD. No, they sub. They SD this turn. It's like foul play, I believe. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, well, I can just go into Fable on this. Test the waters. The fact that they're a sub SD revealed to me that number one, they don't have recovery, which is really big. Which means that if they are relying on Flare Blitz, it's good for me. And number two, it's like, okay, they're probably dual stab because electric coverage doesn't, like, it's kind of greedy to rely on electric coverage. Plus, like, electric fire is not good because it's wall by chomp. Uh, electric dragon's not good. I'm trying to remember. Oh, because it's wall by cliff, right? And yeah, so dual stab's the best option there. But I wasn't sure if they were outrage yet, so I wanted to scout. They double into Stunfisk, which kind of tells me that they expected me to stay in and click foul play again. So they don't have outrage. So here I'm like, okay, they're gonna get their rocks up on my cliff, so I'm just gonna go onto my Venomoth and get my T-Spikes up. I was also kind of hoping that they click Toxic because I only go cliff there if I'm unaware. So the fact that I'm unaware means that they can Toxic me with their Stunfisk and put me on a timer, which could be good for them. So I didn't want to go Garchomp, which is a more aggressive player, because if I got Toxic, it was a lot worse. But no, they just click their rocks, which is fine. I just take my T-Spike here. And here they go onto a Shifu, so I was like, okay, well, this is convenient positioning. Normally, if they had gone on a Shifu, I would have been in a tough spot because I would have been trying to scout what their Shifu set is without risking my bro to that stupid-ass Whirlpool set. But because I got my Fizz Death Venomoth in, I was just like, okay, cool. I can stay in, put this in range of Tornadoes, and see what their set is. I live any one hit. So they just click Whirlpool. I'm like, okay, yeah, free. This is good information. If I poison, I think I 1v1 them as well because I live the Surging Strikes handily. And now I just Sludge Bomb again. And now they can't really trap my Slowbro, so I'm pretty happy with this exchange. I got my T-Spike up and I traded it for something, which is pretty decent value for a Venomoth. Here I just go Tornadoes and I S-Slash. In hindsight, probably could have gone Garchomp and clicked Earthquake. If they go Lando, I'm healthy, so I can scout what they want to do with either a Rocks or an Aqua Tail. So would have been fine for me to go Garchomp. I think in hindsight, yeah, I probably should have tried to generate more offensive momentum, maybe take seize of the initiative while I had my T-Spike up. But then I think, let me see, I go Torn instead because, right, now I remember, because I wanted to force in the Stunfisk, and now I was like, okay, I'll get my Garchomp in on this Stunfisk, but I think they make a double switch, do they? Yeah, they make a really nice double here into the Lando, anticipating me to go Garchomp. So it kind of like, I tried to get greedy. I wanted to Toxic the Stunfisk with T-Spikes and then get my Garchomp in, but instead they double preventing me from getting my Garchomp in at all, which is going to become a problem because now I need to be really careful with this Lando because it's gonna keep bringing in his cart if I go Slowbro every single time. So they knock. Here I go Garchomp, because it's Mega. So yeah, and the chip would have been nice if they stayed into Rough Skin. Right? But yeah, here I click Aqua Tail because at this point I was like very very confident that they're a Scarf Lando. So I didn't want to afford them a free switch into Lando, and I knew that Aqua Tail killed this specific variant of Urshifu from this range. And then I missed, which is really unfortunate because this is going to put me in range of pretty much everything, which is, well, yeah, it's unfortunate. Being out of Lando range would have been incredible. Being out of Smart Strike Katana range also would have been incredible, or just Leaf Blade in general, right? Um, and what this damage is going to mean is that it's going to mean I'll struggle to get my rocks up, which is gonna let this Lando kind of run wild against my team. I do have helmet, but eventually I'm gonna lose that helmet. I think I lose it to Can't Knock, try to make an aggressive player. But yeah, in general, it's quite scary. Here I just make the taunt play because I'm like, okay, he's either U-turning or earthquaking. If he U-turns, I don't want to give him a free slow bro, like Katana positioning, because that's probably, unless I get every single play in that specific sequence right, his Katana should wrap up a kill there, and so I didn't want to take that risk. So I go taunt, and here I'm thinking, okay, on the Stunfisk, do I make the double? I go slow bro because I'm a coward. I should have just gone a Garchomp. But yeah, I also think this was just in case he wasn't Scarf. But yeah. So this is fine. I think I just go Garchomp here. No, I go Zaru trying to take my free jungle healing. Yeah, I think that's an okay play, because if I can get the jungle healing off, then I'm in a good position. But here I'm like, okay, well, he can Sacred Sword me, so I think I switch. I should switch. I don't know. Yeah, I go slow bro because it covers both Smart Strike and Sacred Sword. So this is good for me. And then here I think I just doubled to Tornadus on a Leaf Blade just to check if he was choiced or not, because this could have been double Scarf. But no, he's not locked in. Here I make the double to Zarude, expecting him to go Stunfisk and not risk this. Probably didn't have to make this play. His Stunfisk is poisoned. I'm actually gaining a lot by Heat Waving there. But I mean, this isn't a bad play in its own right, but yeah. They make the extremely aggressive play of Leaf Blading. I'm not sure if I agree with that. But this puts me in a really, really bad position. So I think, yeah, here I started panicking and I clicked Synthesis, which was extremely risky because that could have been a roll to kill. And here I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go slow bro. And I think they catch on and they're like, okay, well, if we knock his lefties, we're going to inevitably force our way through this. So they make the knock play, which is just a good play, a good understanding of the exchange. And then I'm like, oh shit, I can't sack my slow bro. So I go out into Clefable as I click Leaf Blade, because I was like, at this stage, I think Torn dies to knock off after Rock, so I didn't want to go out into Torn. And then I go back into slow bro on the Smart Strike, which was entirely unnecessary, but I mean, technically it gets me a little bit of regen health. But this again, I was struggling with timer and I was kind of freaking out, not sure what to do. So here I realized, okay, I need to give him give him a sack and go Torn to force his Katana out. So I'm just going to do that. And then I'm like, okay, I'm so far behind now, because at least that's my thinking. In reality, I'm probably exactly where I should be in terms of the pacing of this game. This Katana, if it gets in with good positioning, they made a really aggressive prediction for me to they predicted that double on my part, but if they get that positioning for the Katana right, it's gonna come a kill. They made the aggressive play to get that positioning, so it got the kill, right? So technically, I'm not actually that far behind, but I was kind of panicking in my head. So here I make the play of doubling into Zarude, which honestly isn't that bad of a play, because the way I see this is that they're pretty far ahead now. Or I shouldn't say that, because like I said, they're not actually that far ahead. This is about where you'd expect them to be from this sequence, where they should be. But yeah, doubling into Zarude here because they're ahead makes sense to me, because once you get ahead, it's a bad habit of players to just kind of take their step off the gas. But they're also in a dominant position, so it's theirs to lose, right? So you're not going to make a reckless play like leaving Katana in on Torn. So I get this double right, and this is huge because now that I unburn myself, this Zarude can definitely do a lot to help force progress in this game. However, so I click jungle healing here, and I think I just go out into slower on a U-turn. No, I go Torn on a U-turn, which is a good play. Yeah. Specifically, it's the same shit. I just don't like Katana in. So here I go Zarude because it's free on Stunfisk, and he doubles back into Lando. I'm beginning to freak out because I'm like, dude, I don't have anything for this Volt Turn Core. He's slowly U-turning away at me. So I go back out into my Tornadus. Stunfisk is back in. I'm not really doing a whole lot. And then I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to pull the trigger and defog. So if he doubles back into Lando here, then I remove rocks and my Torn's going to quickly overwhelm him and I'll be in a pretty good position. If he kills me, then I'm like, okay, I'm all in to this Zarude endgame, where Zarude because we know that he's Smart Strike and not Sacred Sword, because if he had Sacred Sword, I think he would have clicked it. So even if he is like Sacred Sword and he just Smart Strike to try to middle ground the taunt, it's like, okay, my only way to win this is with Zarude. So I'm playing for that in game now if he kills me, which he does. So yeah. So the way that Zarude wins this is that I need to get rocks up with Garchomp, and then I need to get the Lando to U-turn into my rough skin. And I'm pretty sure that after 2 rounds of rocks and rough skin, the Lando's dead. So I was looking at that as my way out. And then once the Lando dies, if I can somehow get my Slowbro to kill the Charizard, which is either Scale Shot, probably Scale Shot or Dragon Claw, then my Zarude can win, right? If it's Scale Shot, it's more likely because I can get the foul play, and if I get some favorable Scale Shot rolls, then I'll be in a good spot. But yeah, so that's kind of like the way in which I have to win this game now. I'm pretty far behind, so immediately I just go Garchomp and Rocks. They Toxic, which probably suggests that they don't have foul play. I kind of just went this and Rocks because I just have to hope that foul play doesn't kill. And a part of me was also like, okay, maybe you go into Lando and make a reckless play, but they don't. If they went Lando there, it would have been really difficult because it's like if they U-turn on a switch, then Kartana just wins the game on the spot, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, now I go Zarude. And then I just kill this. They have no reason to hard switch into anything because everything is generally valuable. Why can't I talk? Blah. Anyway, they go Charizard, I go Bro. Scale Shot, they only get 3. And these are good rolls for me. I think here they literally exploded in their brain. I'm not sure what the hell they were thinking when you click SD when there are so many other moves that you could have clicked here. Now I could have slacked off and I would have been outside of like 5 Scale Shots anyway. So wait, would I have been? No, I would have just died. Like I don't know. No, I just die. Yeah, so I can't slack off here. I don't understand what they're thinking. Slack off is an extremely greedy player. I'm definitely foul playing there always. I don't know what they're going for, but yeah. So yeah, I consider SD a choke to be honest. I'm not sure what the point of that was, but now I'm like, okay, I can go Zarude on the Kartana and I can synth. I barely have enough synthesis, so because I have 8 and I'm healing approximately 10% per synth, I should be able to get outside of Smart Strike range twice with my synthesis. Except here I made a really stupid play of synthing again. I was kind of afraid of rolls or crit, so I was like, okay, I can just synth here safely. But then he made the switch into Lando, which was quite bad. I probably could have just killed this immediately with Lariat. Not that it matters, because here I get the play right. U-turn. And it says 13, but I'm pretty sure with because I've only damaged it with Helmet and Rocks, because of the amount of HP they had, they're in range. I'm pretty sure, actually in hindsight, I'm pretty sure depending on how they EV'd this Lando, it probably could have lived. I'm not entirely familiar with those mechanics, but yeah. Anyway, they miss this Wisp, which doesn't really matter unless... okay, it matters to a certain extent. So what happens if they Wisp is that I kill them still. They go out and they try to go Lando, it dies. They go Kartana, and I click Jungle Healing the first time, and then they do this Smart Strike, which is going to put me down to 50, plus Jungle Healing, plus Jungle Healing puts me at 75. I think there's an extra burn turn in there, so it's down to like, we'll say 60, 70, yeah. But at 70% with 3 synthesis, yeah, I'm gonna synth out of to a KO range and just 1v1 this anyways, so unless I get a crit in that time, it's pretty much over. So yeah. Anyways, I just synth here and Lariat twice. They reveal Slack Barrier, which is an interesting bring. Not sure how I would have procced this, but fair enough. And yeah, they didn't have Sacred Sword, so I pulled this game out of my ass. Honestly, not happy with the way in which I played this. I think, I don't know, it's kind of hindsight, because it's like, I made that aggressive Zaru play and I got punished for it. I wouldn't have made that play in hindsight. I would have made it the second time. But I can say that knowing that it would have worked out the second time. So I don't know. What matters is that I won, and next time I'm gonna give them more respect in the builder, and I'm not gonna panic against a Katana. Yeah, again, like pretty unhappy with how I played this, but I can't complain. I won, so cool. How long has it been? 30 minutes? Yeah, it's a good place to call it quits. Yep.